Good morning and welcome to today's webcast, Drilling Innovations and Technology Forum, Fall 2020. We have Mr. Brad Kwasnycia from Volant to discuss reducing costs, improving efficiency, and eliminating invisible lost time in the tubular running process.
Thanks, Cameron. Hello, everyone, and thanks for making time in your schedule to join us today. Finding sustainable cost reduction solutions for well construction operations has been and continues to be one of the primary focuses of operators and service providers. Today, I'm going to show you how Volant can assist in these cost reduction efforts by improving efficiency, eliminating invisible lost time in the tubular running process. It's definitely not a secret. Casing and liner installation has been well documented as one of the most dangerous activities in the well construction process, resulting in high incident rates and incident severity. And even while there have been many technology advancements in the last 20 years that offer better safety and increased functionality during in-slip operations, many companies still revert to traditional methods to install their casing and liner. But why is that? The most common answer, and thus the common perception, is that tongs are still the fastest and therefore must be the most cost-effective. The spotlight has been so bright on the speed in which it takes to perform rig flow operations that, while running casing, that it often comes at the expense of introducing technology that may significantly improve safety, reduce carbon and operational footprints, and improve operational efficiency. Time truly has become the new currency, but at what expense? Faster doesn't always mean being in full control. But what if it could? What if the current perception is not the reality? What if it's all a misperception? The best way to challenge this perception is to have a means to accurately measure surface operational performance in order to discover where the true opportunities exist to improve efficiency and reduce overall costs while maintaining a safe operation. At Volant, our broad focus on tubular running efficiency, which includes the continuing advancement of casing running tool technology, led to the development of our True Analysis software. Our True Analysis app exposes the truth behind tubular running efficiency using readily available rig data to generate accurate and unbiased reports on the distribution of time spent during the casing and liner installation process. The focus today is on in-slip operations. However, we do acknowledge that opportunity may also exist to optimize out-of-slip time, but we'll talk about that another day. Having visibility on in-slip operations creates significant opportunity to optimize equipment selection and operational procedures that can enhance safety and reduce the time spent performing those operations. Less time spent running casing means less time spent constructing the well, which ultimately means reduced well construction costs. The report itself is generated post-run and offers the option to analyze performance of runs that use either tongs or CRTs as the primary connection makeup device. It's very comprehensive in the way it analyzes the data, but presents in an easy-to-read format and enables quick dissemination and interpretation of the information reported on. High-level casing string detail is reported on the report header. The rest of the report can then be used to identify operational inefficiencies and expose where invisible lost time is being spent, providing a guide for future run goals and operational action plans aimed at eliminating rig time usage uncertainty. It's also been used successfully to debunk the myth that tongs are always the fastest way to install casing and liner. The middle section of the first page reports on overall running speed. The run summary section, we document the number of stands run in hole. Note that we're not calling it joints per hour, and that's intentional. The program is tracking how many connections are being made up, not counting the number of joints. So if you're running single joints, then it would technically be the same as joints per hour. But if you're running doubles or triples, you would multiply the stands per hour rate accordingly to determine the number of joints per hour. We are also reporting the average and peak running speeds achieved for the run. The peak speed represents the quickest set of 5 consecutive joints over the course of that run. Total run performance is also shown in the form of line graphs. In this run, it was the first time the rig crew used the casing running tool technology, and you can see that even though things started off relatively slow, the speed ramped up quickly and sustained quite nicely once the driller became familiar with how the tool functioned. The bottom section of the first page presents the breakdown of in-slip and out-of-slip time And this is where we feel our program differentiates significantly from other casing running performance monitoring software. While measuring running speed is not a novel concept, we believe that reporting and breaking down the distribution of in-slip time is. And this is where true analysis provides its greatest value. In this particular run, which utilized a casing running tool, the distribution of in-slip time is broken down into 5 segments: prepare to hoist, hoist, prepare to make up, and prepare to run. Page 2 of the report shows how the distribution of time is reported for total in-slip performance as well as for each key segment within, reported in the 20th, 50th, and 75th percentiles. It's a very detailed report on this side. Focusing here on total in-slip time, we can see how the distribution ranged both by value as well as visually in the graph. Being able to see the shape and distribution of the data then allows you to focus on those segments that could benefit from more attention. Efficiency is often a result of consistency. So what you're looking for is how tight is the distribution of data. The tighter the distribution, the more consistent the operation. Once you have consistency, it then becomes easier to focus on speed and efficiency. As you can see here in the prepare to make up section of the CRT run, a very tight distribution of data coupled with a relatively short duration of time to perform this segment indicates the crew was not only consistent in their prepare to make up operations, but also quite efficient. For context, the prepare to make up segment of a run using a CRT includes the stabbing and tool engagement steps. Being able to analyze the breakdown of in-slip time allows you to uncover inconsistencies during the run as well as between different crews. Inconsistencies are represented by a wide distribution and scattering of the data points. Highlighting those inconsistent processes then allows the users of the program to introduce the best practices and equipment that can improve consistency. Being able to create more consistent in-slip operations makes it easier to focus on improving those operations, which in turn leads to better efficiency. Better efficiency then leads to less time spent performing those operations. And of course, less time spent performing the operations results in quicker well completions and reduced overall well costs. So here's a case study utilizing data from 2 multi-well pads using a Volant CRT as the primary makeup device. The data has been anonymized to keep confidential at the request of our customer. However, it accurately represents and is not altered in any way. The operator, rig crew, and crews were the same for each pad. Each pad was batch drilled and completed, and the post-run analysis occurred after completing all 8 wells on each pad. The same sections are being analyzed for each pad and were drilled and completed in similar style. Looking at the prepare to make up segment once more, we can see here in pad 1 a large scattering of data between each well, which indicates large inconsistencies in performance from one well to the next. But why is that? Digging deeper into the data, reviewing run notes, and discussing with the crews, the post-run analysis yielded 2 findings. First, one crew was more proficient in setting the CRT than the other crew. Second, unnecessarily long spacing between the CRT and the casing coupling resulted in CRT tool stabbing challenges and extra time spent trying to stab the tool into the casing. This is a prime example of exposing invisible lost time. Stabbing the CRT is a required step when running pipe, so many would not think to look at that specific part of the operation as a place to save time. But how do you know what you're proficient at if you don't know how quick you can actually be? Being able to accurately measure things like this exposes these opportunities. So what was the plan for the next pad? Firstly, to address the crew performance discrepancy, we replaced the standard version CRT with a new active set CRT. Second, to tackle the CRT and casing joint spacing issue, we introduced our VariLink adjustable bail extensions, which enable the crew to achieve an optimal 3-inch gap between the bottom of the CRT and the casing joint. This allowed stabbing to occur in one continuous motion immediately after the casing joint was set in place. So what was the result? Pad 2 showed significant improvement in consistency between both crews for all 8 wells, and that was achieved on the very first runs utilizing new equipment the rig and crews had not used before. The combination of the 2 adjustments resulted in a 25% reduction in time spent during the prepare to make up segment, saving approximately 4 hours of total rig time, not to mention making the lives and jobs of the crews much easier. And this was, again, the result of only one iteration of analysis focusing on a single segment of the casing installation process. Now, you'll notice in pad 1 that some of the times were actually less than the average or cluster of times in pad 2. The next iteration of analysis would then allow you to focus on how to turn what has now become a very consistent operation showing in pad 2 to a consistent and faster operation on the next pad. So let me ask you, would you rather be responsible for finding ways to improve efficiency in performance on the inconsistent pad 1 or on the consistent pad 2? And it's true, what gets measured gets managed. In today's climate, seconds matter, and they all add up, especially during operations that are repeated hundreds of times per well, such as when installing long completion strings. So let's take a case. What's it worth to save 25 seconds off your in-slip time per joint on a 400 joint completion? You do the math, and that saves you over 2 hours of time per well, just for that one segment. What True Analysis does is it enables a quick and accurate analysis of the tubular running process, and with ability to identify in-slip operations that are inconsistent and inefficient. The program helps operators and service providers establish detailed baseline KPIs for current operations and enables the creation of target metrics for ongoing TRS performance management. It's a tool that enables opportunity for continuous improvement. It can bring focus to invisible lost time spent during in-slip operations and highlights areas where opportunity exists for efficiency improvements, including enhanced and focused crew training, and perhaps most importantly, allow you to confidently introduce new technology and processes that enhance operational safety and provide sustainable cost reduction solutions. Now, operators and service providers can use True Analysis to quantify the improvements and justify the operational changes made, instilling confidence in the decisions to try something new that may increase efficiency, improve safety, reduce operational and carbon footprints, and at the end of the day, reduce your well construction costs.